Hello. So let us look at a little bit of a Tinkercad tutorial here. A little bit of things with Tinkercad. So you've signed into tinkercad.com with your Google account. It's always the easiest way to do it, right? And so this is for my maker band. And you can create classes, and I've made up one class. We'll talk about that in a moment. But then you can look at designs, and Tinkercad does more than just 3D design. So it's 3D design, and then there is coding for 3D design. That's called Code Blocks. But then it's got some nice little things with some circuit simulations. So other things to look at. So we've got 3D, the collections. There's obviously lots of tutorials. So browse the tutorials if you want to use those, tutorials or assign those to students. A little combination of exploration and tutorials, right? All right, so let's look at classes. So you're going to want to create a class for your students so you can give them a code for them to log in and sign up for your class, and you will see all of their stuff. So for example, I've created this class and I, in another account, am the student. So that's me, the student account. There's a class link, that you can give to them. It also has just the code for them to sign in. We'll look it up more. And what you see, like I clicked on me in this other account, and I can see all the stuff that's in my account, right? So that's the idea. You can see their stuff. You can actually tinker their stuff. So it would be good for you to download the STL so they don't have to send the STL to you. They can just say, hey, I'm done with my design. And then you know to download the STL in order to slice it. So let's back up one. So let's create a new class, and you got to give it a name. First period, I don't know, right? And you got to pick a grade. We'll just pick something, right? And pick subject if you want. You can just call it whatever. Maybe you're just gonna call it 3D. You can call it whatever you want, kind of thing. Safe mode, that your students can't make things public. If you want to do with that, that's something else, something to look into. And then create class. And so there's the class, and here is, share the class link. So if they like log in with their own Google account, they can just use this class link to get this class code, or there is a link. I'm going to go with the link aspect here. So you would share them this link. So I'm just going to copy the link, class link copied, and now I'm going to go to a different account. So here, and I'm going to go Control V, and so there's the code and the link. And they can join with a nickname if you want, or email or username. I would tend to pick that more than anything else, where they can, go with their Google, there kind of thing. So we go there, we log in. So this is now me in this other, right? And so I'm going to now go back to my class here. Okay, back to class, and why is the classroom empty? Maybe because I haven't done anything in it yet. Let's do that. Let's create something. All right, so let's talk about creating something. So 3D design, quick little 3D design. So obviously you're going to want them to pull over shapes and kind of mash them up, right? That went on top, which was really nice. But if it doesn't go on top, how do you make it go on top? Well, again, the first thing I really want to do, I want to bring the ruler over. So whenever I click on anything, I know the dimensions. Here's the other thing that we're going to want to do, because this is just a generic, this is a build plate, a work plane. And I have already done this, which is bad. It usually starts out at 200 by 200, but you need to make it no bigger than the size of the build plate for your 3D printers. And so I looked up like a MakerBot sketch is 150 by 150. So that's where you would change that, because you don't want kids making things bigger than the build plate. You actually don't want kids making things as big as the build plate. So, and this is also where they could change it to inches if they want. I'm just going to stick in millimeters. And then you click make default. I don't think there's a way for you to force that size on your students. So I'm looking that up. So here we go. So now we want to mix things together, right? So you would like mash those two into there, and then you would group them, and they become one shape, right? And then maybe we want to put like a shape on top. Here's how I put things on top. There is a way to like make the top be another work plane. I just make them use numbers. Hey, that's 20 tall. So if we look at these numbers, this is 20 by 20 by 20, but this is saying it's 0 height. So if I make that 20 height, see how there's a shadow down here now? That means it's up in the air. High up in the air? Well, just enough, right? How do we make things line up instead of trying to eyeball them? Remember, we can grab this and turn this around. How do we make things line up? Well, this is the align tool. And okay, so now that I've got that funky shape, I might want to send it over to the right and center it. And kind of goes right on top of that. Okay. And then, yes, obviously I'd want to group those. Ta-da! So how do you change dimensions of things? Well, you can just type in the numbers. Now that I've grouped everything, it's going to shrink everything that way a little bit. Or you can grab corners, the white corners, and make things change. How do I make things change proportionally? If I shift and then grab the corner, slide, with my mouse with my. So there's a. So I made something, right? Okay. Oh yeah, we should also name it something. Get a convention for them to name it. Oh, game piece. All right, so let's go back to here to the class. Let's go back and let's come look at first period. Why doesn't it say I'm? Oh, there we are. So there's me as a student in this class, right? And if we click on that, we see I'm I'm the teacher in the class, and I can look at Paul's game piece, and I can tinker Paul's game piece, or I can download it. What's going on with that? Yeah, I can download the STL because again, Paul just told me that he was done with his model, and we can download the STL in order to slice it. Or we could tinker it if we want to think, oh, maybe there's something a little wrong, and I can fix it for him. Little thing, right? So again, I am right now in the teacher area looking at Paul's stuff. So again, here's my teacher area. This is my teacher page because I'm the maker mobile. That's my teacher page, and there's the class I just made. It's got one student, and that one student is Paul. You can add some co-teachers. Always nice to do, right? So there's a quick little things. Yeah, you're going to want to. I mean, if you want to, you can have them. Download the STL and send it to you. Oh, I didn't want to do that one. I didn't want that one either. Got to remember which browser I'm in, so they can mash things up. So so let's get rid of this. The other neat way to make things in here is to import SVGs. So I'm going to import an SVG. Where is that one? That cool one. There we go. We'll go with a knight. And you can change size of it here. Kids are going to have to get good with dimensions. That's a little big, so I'm going to go 50%. And it's going to import. So there we go. Again, grab the ruler, bring it over. Some elements removed. That's okay. Doesn't matter where that ruler is. So when I click on it, that's the sizes. It automatically does it at 10 millimeters, which is actually kind of big. I don't want it to be 5. So, but if we notice, some of these pieces are not connected. So this is one thing that I will do. Like you could do this several ways. We could make a coin um, that is that the knight's going to stick out of. So I'm going to make it 50 by 50 by 1. And then I'm going to align them. Yeah, maybe we got to go bigger than 50, huh? Well, the knight didn't quite get all the way on. Yeah, we got to go bigger than 50, don't we? Okay. 60. Oops. I didn't want that to happen. I don't know why it does that sometimes. All right. Nope, nope, come back. I don't know why we got this big gray. Okay, here we go. 60. And again, we need to align that. Boom. Of how the knight is designed in the coin. Um, there we go. That's more centered. Now, one thing I didn't tell you. Down here, this snap grid, that is how far a shape will move every time you hit the arrow key. So you can change that to only make things move, minuscule. All right, so there's my knight. Boom. Group it. Say I'm done, right? Okay. The other thing we can do is I'm going to make a copy of the knight. But over here, this is like the fill mode, and you can play with these 3, but I'm going to go silhouette. Give it a moment. Boom. And it just filled in the whole thing. So now, again, align things. Now we just have, there's no thing around it. It's just the exact dimensions of, the knight. So there's a couple quick little things with Tinkercad for the design idea for simple things to get started. Oh, I didn't do negative space. I'm sorry. So we can put holes in things. Anything can be a hole. See how it says solid and hole? Awesome. So we're going to make that a hole. We're going to stick it in here a little bit. And then we're going to group those 2 things. And we get negative space. So there we go. So we got, design idea, and then we've got how to make a classroom. And you can view all your student stuff. Excellent. Good.